Well, hello, my paranormal peeps, and welcome back to another Deep Woods Paranormal podcast. My name is Matt Harvey. I am the founder and lead investigator with Deep Woods Paranormal. My wife and I, along with others, investigate everything paranormal in nature. Every week, we will discuss everything from creepy haunted locations to ghosts to Bigfoot, UFOs, Dogman, and other cryptid creatures, and explore all things paranormal in nature. All right, hey guys, so we are talking to Richard. He is a newspaper guy, and he basically was the first one to break the news about the Madisonville cattle mutilations. So he's been nice enough to come on and talk to us about what how he got started into this and what he's been working on lately. So, with that, Richard, what got you into the cattle mutilations? How did you find out about it?
Yeah, so like everybody else, I found out about it the way that everybody finds things out in this realm of like the digital age, Facebook. Um, the sheriff's department of Madison County, the Madison County Sheriff's Department posted a long Facebook post detailing what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And that immediately caught my eye, and I immediately was like, hey, I can't put this in the paper quickly because we were already past our printing date. And so I'm just going to put it on our website, blast it onto our Facebook, and then promote it as well so it could reach a wider audience. Did that immediately. And ever since then, we've had certain people call, some farmers in the county, saying, hey, we would like to speak with you, and been backing out. And the reason why they're backing out, reportedly from sources, is because the FBI is in town telling people not to talk with local news media, which is, par for the course when you're dealing with this type of stuff.
Right.
Um, I've been dealing with a organization, or trying to deal with an organization called MUFON, Mutual UFO Network. They're actually coming to Madisonville to do I guess, like a weird seminar next Saturday. You might want to check that out, Matt. It's actually going to be at the Woodbine.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah, they're coming in to report on what's happening, get people in. They want to try and get the farmers in, so the farmers will have like an actual place to talk. And with that, you also have the UAP hearing that is happening next week on Wednesday that everybody's talking about. I hear people around town talking about UFOs and seeing UFOs, and just everything is like condensed into Madison County, and it's starting to feel a little bit weird in the air. You can feel something is up.
Yeah. Well, I've come across about 10 witnesses. They've all gone quiet. A couple from Madisonville, a couple from Navasota, a couple from Hearn. And then I've heard that what is it? Robertson County is under severe attack. In fact, I actually under anonymity, a farmer who I can't mention, I can't talk about his name or anything like that. He contacted me. He's like, I saw your post on Facebook and I wanted to give you some information. And he was talking to me about how his family, his family's a big time. I mean, if you heard the name, you go, oh, yep, I know that name. It's something you buy in the store. Let's just put it that way. My family's cattle are being basically mutilated, and he said that he basically was picking up going out there, and he's had it happen twice. And he said his deer are worth like $20,000. They're not cheap. He's got the longhorns,
Mm,
and going out there and finding out something's just completely sucked the eyeballs out, the tongue out, the reproductive organs, and the cattle is just not. It's not decomposing, and
mm.
also so they're just leaving it. And then he said his cattle are just acting really weird. My friend at Hearn has had it happen twice too. He's only got like 20 head of cattle, but they're walking in circles. They're just circling around, and they're acting really weird. He said they're not eating right and all this other stuff. It's just weird. They won't go near the dead body. They can't seem to get rid of the carcass. It just won't decompose. Predators won't come near it. So it's very strange.
I think that's the strangest part about this, and that's something that I've been trying to focus on, is why aren't predators, scavengers scavenging these bodies?
Mhm.
I had a source tell me that their cattle, one cattle, supposedly got hit by lightning. That was the official
Wow.
statement given to them, but the head was exploded, right? Um, Now that's interesting because you would think that would happen if you got struck by lightning, but humans, whenever they get struck by lightning, their heads don't explode. Their
Right.
bodies are burnt,
Right.
just burnt to a crisp. There was no burning on the body of the cattle.
Wow.
Um, and animals were not coming up to scavenge it. It was exactly like it was, but it didn't have any of the reproductive organs. The anal glands were taken out. It's just the head was gone.
Wow.
Um, and I heard that, and they're like, off the record.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately I was like, well, thank you for that information. You have a good day.
Yeah.
Uh, but that's what's kind of bringing me, into all this is everything that these people want to report. They're not, they don't want to report on it.
Mm-hmm.
You had massive media outlets coming into town and they just stopped. No one's talking about the cattle in Madison County, Leon County, Grimes County,
Mm-hmm.
even though it was a big deal at the time.
Right. Sweeping it under the rug. That's what they do. So yeah, my friend, who lives out and lives, I'm not gonna say where he lives, but he got told by the local sheriff because he's involved. Turn is a small little town, but he was told to just, quiet, don't talk
Mm,
about it. And then he said they told him there might be issues with his employments at different various places. He's very involved in the town, and so yeah, I mean he's been threatened. And then he told me that the game warden has told him in Hearn alone, there's been over 60 cases. So it's happening like crazy. And he said it's still happening, but he just didn't want to
that's
comment. None of my witnesses, we just decided not to even interview anybody because we felt like they would get, number one, I don't want to knock at my door or being threatened and then, or have the video taken down or whatever. And, we told them, it's just safer if you guys don't come on, just give us a written statement or something. So that's what we're working on.
that's what I've been trying to tell people as well. If they want to put in a quote unquote letter to the editor, they're more than welcome to. Because that's something I can freely put into a newspaper to have it in print to mark it as history. And it could be anonymous as well. I don't think a lot of people know about that. Like you can send literally anything into a newspaper, and if it's like just not racist, which is so simple, I
Yeah,
can put an editor can put that in. It doesn't matter. We're all about freedom of speech and helping people get their word out if they
right.
want it to be out. Um, and the other thing about that is other people shouldn't be worried about what the government or so-called government's going to do. Like a government entity coming to town telling you can't speak, that's blocking your freedom of speech, right?
Right.
To tell your story, and that's exactly what they want. They want this to be swept under the rug, but what's the point?
Yeah.
It's just cattle.
Yeah.
Like cows are dying and people want to know why, you know.
Well, some people reported me that they've found deer, they've found pigs, dogs, horses. Some people have had their horses. Same thing. Eyes removed, nose,
Mm.
basically mouth removed surgically. And then one person told me they found like burn marks in a circle pattern, and they found like prints, like it's something that landed and stuff like that. So in fact, I had a witness. She won't come forward anymore. Pretty sure she got threatened. That happened. This happened like 20, 30 years ago when the cattle first started getting mutilated around here. She actually possibly witnessed a UFO. She said it was really noisy. It was kind of a saucer shape, and then it basically was just rattling back and forth. And she said it flew over their pond, sucked up a bunch of water, and then dumped it back down, and then flew over to her where the cattle was. And this happened really early in the morning, and it basically sucked the cattle up and then spit it back out. And it came back out with no eyes, no tongue, and no reproductive organs. And she was sworn to secrecy. She was only 6 or something like that. by her parents. They said, like, you should never talk about this ever. You know what I mean? So she was going to come on and tell her story. But something I've noticed is when we have these lightning storms, and you were talking about lightning hitting a cow, I saw something driving home one night. I looked up and there was lightning. There was two clouds, one behind and one in front. And there was lightning, and it flashed behind and it illuminated the cloud in front of it. And there was this saucer-like shape. And I'm like, holy crap. And somebody actually sent me a picture of that. They saw exactly the same thing from a different angle, and they got the saucer. They got the picture of the saucer in it. And then for a couple of weeks, I was just chasing different things. So of course, it was when I was going to work and coming back, but I was chasing different things, forward and back and all that stuff. So very strange. I mean, this whole case is just really, really strange.
It's the oddest whenever you think about cases like this all the time. You read about them, they're ingrained in our culture. There's movies about things like this happening,
Oh
and
yeah,
you think in reality it wouldn't be as serious. You would be able to talk about it, but truth is stranger than fiction sometimes. But
right.
fiction is actually coming true, where people are not talking because they're probably being threatened to not talk. um
Exactly.
and that's what happens in movies. So
Yeah.
people were correct. You're not we're not being allowed to disclose information. Everything that you say is technically off the record when dealing with this. But I do have certain people in the House of Representatives that I'm talking to, which I can't name, but they are looking into this, especially stuff on the county level.
Hmm.
Um, and that's interesting to me, that there's people representing Texas that are looking into what's happening up in Washington right now.
Right. And you just think that, I was talking about this when I was talking to Amanda when we wrapped up our show. We spent 5 weeks out chasing. We didn't see anything. I was out with my friend John. We saw something strange, and we were on flight radar, and we found there was nothing there, but we were documenting lights, off in the Madisonville area, and along where the first cattle mutilations happened. And so that was strange. But yeah, we were talking about how we basically were running around chasing all these leads, but we never experienced anything. So, but we did experience something. She saw what looks like a saucer falling a plane here, into the airport here in Bryan College Station. And then also, a long, long time ago, I was driving Lyft, and I saw something take off from that airport. It was a triangle shape. It was silver. It was huge. It was about the size of a football field. And it took off. And I thought it was a plane at first. I'm like, what is that? And then it just stopped and kind of rotated to the right. And then another plane took off and flew right past. I'm like, what in the world? And so by the time I got pulled over and got out with my camera, it moved about a mile away, and you just couldn't see it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So these little camera phones are great for close-ups, but long distance anything there, it's really hard to see anything.
That's
So
true.
yeah,
It's it's one of those cases where nothing will come to light until something comes to light. Whenever we were first discussing it, me and the sheriff and other people in town, it was when it's done and it's over with and the case is shut and dry, we will be releasing press releases to everybody.
yeah.
It's been months, that hasn't happened, so the case is still ongoing.
Hmm.
I don't believe they know what's going on. What I hear around town, and like if you look up the weird fringe history of Madison County, there was several cults operating in that area. So if it's not UFOs or UAPs, it's very plausible that it is some weird cult, because it's happened in the county before, back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
But all logic, in my opinion, stands with it being something else than a human because of the surgical precision that's being reported
Yeah,
and the non-decaying bodies.
right. And the lack of blood. I've
Yeah.
talked to two different witnesses. One that basically had the cow like literally right outside their living room, and they have dogs and stuff like that, and they have I don't know 200 acres or something, and the cattle were right up close to the house for some reason that night. And they came out the next morning, they found the cattle like within 15-20 feet that had been mutilated of the home. And they said if anybody had tried to drive up on their land, number one, they had a fence. You can't get through the fence. You would have it unlock the fence, drive up without the dogs going nuts, and there was no footprints, no nothing. Just they just found the body. They didn't hear anything. They didn't see anything. It just it's like it just happened. And so, and then another witness was telling me that it's just strange. They don't understand. They would know if somebody's on their property. They're
Yeah.
light sleepers. They know when something's going on their property because they're mentally awake. Farmers are mentally awake because of predators coming onto their farms and grabbing chickens or whatever, or messing with the cattle. So, another theory, a friend of mine was telling me, he's got what's called a Dogman. And basically it's walked by his window and it's at least 10 feet tall. We measured it. And he said that maybe Dogman is doing it. It's kind of like a Bigfoot, but just a giant werewolf. And
Isn't the
oh,
Dogman actually like the most documented cryptid in like America right now, or like the world, like better than Bigfoot? Like there's actually, if I remember correctly, there's a website that actually tracks it, and there's more continuous sightings of a Dogman than Bigfoot,
hmm,
if I remember correctly.
yeah. So this is again up in the Hearn area, and he was saying that he he's seen something. It was just a black silhouette. He won't go outside at night. You
Mm.
know, I have Bigfoot clients that say the same thing. I don't go outside at night, Matt. You're nuts if you're running around out there in the woods on my property. You're crazy. But yeah, he doesn't go out. He's afraid of it. He has he's got guns and stuff, and he won't go out there. So who knows? But yeah, I'm hearing a lot of reports of. In fact, somebody even sent me a link to something about Dogman recently. How they're really heavily present in the Brazos Valley, and
Mm.
now I'm hearing about a whole crap ton of Bigfoot reports that have not been reported. If I showed you the map, you'd go, okay, yeah, East Texas, that's that Texas Louisiana border, Kansas, Texas, all that stuff. Okay, that makes sense. But down the center of Texas, you'd be like, what are you talking about? I haven't heard, when I first started hearing about these reports, I was like, wow, okay. I'm actually actively investigating several locations in central Brazos Valley right now. So, and found old reports. I've just been, all along the Brazos Valley, so all along the Brazos River, of Bigfoots, that basically were reported a long time ago, and nobody's reported on it since. Calvert and all these other places that I never thought you would go look for
Hmm.
Bigfoots, but it makes sense. I travel the 79 quite a bit, and there's just deer everywhere up there. Makes
Yeah.
sense. There's ponds, there's food sources, and all this other stuff. I don't think Bigfoots are doing it, but I still think it's possibly, and again, we'll go down this rabbit hole. Could possibly be something extraterrestrial. But one of the things Amanda and I were talking about, well, why would they come down and just grab the eyeballs, the tongue, the reproductive organs, and then leave the body or just dump it? One person said they found their cow out in the middle of the road. So it's like, I guess they were driving up to go home or something, and the cow was just laying right in the middle of the road. And
Interesting.
they identified it, and they're like, "Oh, okay." But yeah,
I mean, that's another interesting part about that whole entire theory of it being a UFO, right? Is when the reports were first coming out, there was no reports of tire tracks or
mhm,
footmarks in the area. All there was a cow, you know. And the one thing that I noticed was left out of almost every single report I saw was the indent of the cow. Like, how much was the cow indented into the earth? Because if it was dropped there,
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
would be able to figure out that it was
Right.
actually dropped. But then you would have to figure out how did it get dropped, or if there was no truck tracks or anything like that. Was it helicopter? It could have been. Because a lady that I talked to, um, told me about a wild story of she lived in Centerville, right near Madison County, Leon County area, where she saw a UFO dashing through her property. It was
Wow.
yellow in nature, and right away there was helicopters, Black Hawk helicopters,
Hmm.
chasing after it.
Yeah.
And then her son, years later, witnessed the same thing in the same house, but she no longer lived there. Um,
That's,
and then she went quiet on me too. She
yep.
just stopped talking. But it's interesting what people see out in the country.
Hmm. I mean, I'm out there at all hours of the night. I see strange things every once in a while. And I talk to a lot of people that live out in the country. I go to Dallas, I go to Houston, I go to San Antonio. I'm all over the place. Longview, to drop railroad crew off at night. And like I said, I've seen some strange things out there, but nothing UFO wise, unfortunately. Coming home, we're going to work, and down here in Bryan, I've seen a couple of things. I've actually been able to record a few things, but just like I said, it's just strange stuff. I saw what looked like the moon, you know, and then how the moon's like half, like a quarter shape, and you can kind of see part of the lit up on the side, and well, this thing, like, it almost smiled. It, like, the half moon flipped to the bottom, and I'm sitting there going, "What in the world?" So I quickly pulled over, and I'm staring at this thing, and I got my phone out and went to record it, and it went back and then disappeared. It, like, pulled back into the clouds. It's like, what in the world is that?
It's
And I
interesting.
realized the moon was not even in the same spot about an hour later. I'm like, dang it, what the heck? So whatever it was is intelligent. It seems to understand that we're looking for it.
Right. Okay.
Well, I'll let you go. I appreciate you coming on, and we will definitely look into the Woodbine. Wouldn't mind coming up and meeting
Yeah. It
people.
is Saturday the 29th.
Okay, do you know what time?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. the 29th. Okay. All right, this name. Oops. All right. We'll have to contact Jesse and see if they're allowing other paranormal investigators in. So,
Okay.
all right, cool. Well, thank you again for coming on and sharing that with us. If this will probably come out after that event, so if you're looking to go to that event, it's probably going to be over, guys. But again, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your information with us, and we look forward to working with you in the future.
All right. Thank you, Matt.
Sounds good.